Hello, welcome to Texas Style Cuisine. Tonight we're going to show you how to make Jack Daniel's peach cobbler. Have a little music in the background from my dear friend Jeff Gore. You can find him on YouTube at Jeff Gore. Give him a little look. Does some great gospel music, some fantastic cowboy music, and we'll be right back to show you how to make Jack Daniel's peach cobbler. All right, here we get going on our peach cobbler. First thing I'm going to do is I have 2 pounds of frozen peaches that I've had sitting out to thaw. And I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar to them. Take that. Now I'm going to add some cinnamon. I'm not going to take time shaking it out. I'm just going to... And this is cinnamon that's already got sugar in it. I don't like a whole lot of cinnamon in mine, but a little taste of it works real good. And then just a touch of flour. Now on my flour, I'll use maybe 1/4 cup. And this is just used to thicken. Whenever those peaches start to boil, that flour starts thickening. Got it in there. We're going to give all this a good stir. Let these peaches continue to juice out, render all their juices out. And the other thing I'm going to put in here is some lemon juice. A little bit of sour with all this sweet just brings out some different flavors. Take my lemon, again, roll it on the table, loosens up those juices. Just kind of squeeze it into my hand so I catch all the seeds. There we go. And that's not all the juice out of that half. It's probably got the juice out of about 1/4 of it. Had 1 seed land in there I'm going to get out. So it's out. Stir in my lemon juice. And then, what really gives us our flavor, a little bit of Jack Daniel's. And with this amount, I'll use about 1/4 cup. Right there. Stir that in. Let it start getting ready. All right. Kind of see how that looks? That sugar's pulling the juice out of those peaches. All right, I have my 10-inch Dutch oven, and this is a baker. If you notice, it's a little lower profile than the roasters that I've used in some other demonstrations. Now all I'm going to do is rub some butter on the bottom of it. Now you could use shortening. Shortening doesn't burn as easy. If you get that bottom too hot, sometimes you can burn this butter. It burns a little easier. All right, so I'm just going to continue to butter up this Dutch oven. And that'll just keep our crust from not sticking. Now some people will use a pie pan inside of here to cook with. I don't do that. I guess I'm just kind of old school. But I just butter it up good and try not to let her stick. But it does help with cleanup very much. If you take a pie pan or a cake pan and cook your cobblers or your cakes or whatever you're doing inside of those, you don't have to worry about everything sticking to it and worrying about your finish. But I just kind of do it like this. And it seems to work pretty good for me. That's ready to go. Now I'm going to roll out my crust. Now my table's clean. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this crust in half, a little more than half to one side. Because what I want to do with this side is I'm going to roll it out, and it's going to have to go up the side. So I want it a little bigger than I do the other one. Just got my old roller here. Never do use my handles. I just kind of roll it out this way. Let me move that out of the way. All right, here's my pie crust. We'll roll this out. I got more crust here than I need. Speck of something on there we'll get out. Pull this out about 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit thicker. And there it is, it's ready to go. Fold it in 4s, and I get that little point, and that little point is what I aim for the center of my pot. I'll take my pot, put the point right there in the center of it, and then you can fold it over. That way. Open it up. All right. Crust is in there. I'll take this part, just kind of trim it off. And I need a little bit more on that side. So what I'm going to do is take these trimmings. I'll roll my trimmings out and fill in my crust where it didn't quite make it up the side. All right, there it goes. Other side needs a little bit. Right there. And my crust is ready to go. Let's see. There we go. Crust is in there, ready to go. So I'm going to sit it to the side, let my peaches keep rendering out for a little while, and then we'll pour this in there and get it on the fire. We're going to cook it at about 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. All right, now I'm going to pour our peaches into our Dutch oven. Yeah, so we can get all that out of there. Everything off the bottom. And there we go. That is looking very, very pretty. All right, now for our top crust. Again, I got my point. I'll open it up. Put in my crust. And I just kind of roll this down. Take off the extra here. Don't need it up over the edge. But I will do that to it. Seal these edges off. If I get a little bit too much, I pinch it off. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm not building rocket ships here. There we go. Fold it down, pinch it up. And I tell you what, this cobbler smells awful good. Leaning over here, so I bet you it's going to taste pretty good too. Got me a nice crust around the top. Cut some air holes in the top so that it will have a way to go when it starts to boil. I'm just going to do that to it right there. I'm going to take some of my butter. Drop some pats of butter on the top of it. Some people I know will melt butter and just brush it on the top to help this brown. I usually don't do that. I usually just put a few pats up on top. Those are ready to go. Then I take my cinnamon shaker and I'm going to shake cinnamon and sugar right on the top of it. Just like that. And it's ready to go. Take my lid, Put it on top, and we're going to sit it down there with the tin facing us. That way, if the tin's facing us, every time I twist this, I always don't have the lid back in its original position. But we're going to get this going over in the fire pit and see if we can get it cooking for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out my chimney. And this is a 10-inch oven, so that's going to take 20 coals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my 20 coals out here. Just use my tongs to move them around. So here we go. And again, they go around the outside edge. And when we have 20 coals, we do half on bottom, half on top. Take 2 off the bottom and move to the top. So I'm going to have 8 coals on the bottom of this. And I'm going to have 12 coals up on top. So, got my 8. Y'all can see that on there now. I have my 8 good hot coals right there. Sit this down. Make sure we tuck them up underneath the edge. Alright, that's very good. And now I'm going to go on top with 1 dozen. And that'll give me approximately 350 degrees for this 10-inch Dutch oven. And working in my fireplace works here pretty good. Today we had a pretty strong wind. I didn't want to use my fire pit because of that wind, so this is working out pretty good. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Got a few burning over here to the side. If I need to, I can use those. Of course, I'm also cooking a little dish over here with some Swiss steak in it. So we have that one up there going also. May have to use those on it. Anyways, 15 minutes, we'll be back. We'll rotate the oven. 1/4 turn to the right. We'll take the lid, go 1/4 backwards so it's in its original position. That way we move the heat around. We never get a hot spot that stays in any one position. Be right back with you in 15 minutes. Okay. All right, it's been 15 minutes. We're going to make our first turn on our cobbler. So I'm going to go 1/4 of a turn clockwise, grab my lid, turn it back to its original position, counterclockwise 1/4 turn. The tin is still at the bottom. That way I know that lid stays in the same position. I'm rotating my heat. Everything's looking pretty good. Tuck my coals back up under the edge where I bumped them out a little bit. And we'll go another 15 minutes and we'll check it again, or we'll spin it again. Remember, it's kind of like barbecuing. If you're looking, you're not cooking. So when you spin that lid, don't pick it up. You can get ash in there, you can get dirt in there, but also you're letting your heat out. So spin that lid without lifting it. Okay, we've made our last turn. We're about an hour into this. So we're going to check and see how it looks. I think it ought to be ready. Sit it down here and let the bell go all the way forward. All right, we'll take the lid off. And there we go. It is nice and brown on top. I'm going to dust it back a little bit. Should have dusted that, I guess, before I took the lid off. You can get a little whisk broom. And don't get a plastic one. Get the regular old straw whisk brooms, and the plastic ones melt. The straw ones won't. But anyways, that is a pretty cobbler. Take this and see if it firmed up good. Got a crust. Oh, it looks a little bit runny maybe. But I bet you it's going to taste good. So, I've got my bowl here. Pick this up. Put some of my peaches up on top of my ice cream. Got a nice crust going. Looks really good. There we go. Boy, that hot cobbler is melting that ice cream in a hurry. Anyways, Jack Daniel's peach cobbler. and it has melted the ice cream something terribly. But anyways, very, very hot Jack Daniel's peach cobbler in the Dutch oven. Hope y'all like this recipe. If you did, go down there, give me a thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. Subscribe to our channel and drop back and see us sometime on Texas Style Cuisine, and look at my friend Jeff Gore, see if you can find his music on YouTube. Also, come back and see us next time. Thanks for being here.
From Navasota to Oklahoma, the terrain changes faster than the weather on a West Texas plain. Growing up in South Texas, you wear that brush country like a prisoner wears a ball and chain. So when you get older, it don't seem to matter just where, how far you may roam. You'll always return, 'cause that South Texas brush country gets in your blood and your bones.